Are you a room parent for your child's class and in charge of planning all the parties and coordinating volunteers and acting like a liaison from the teacher to the PTO or the class parents to the PTO? Well, we are going to talk about today 4 different mistakes that room parents make that can really set them up for a really bad year. So let's get into it, because my hope here is that by talking about the mistakes here, that you won't actually make these mistakes. You can sidestep them and have a really awesome year. So the very first mistake that some room parents make is that thinking that just because they're a room parent means that they are in charge of it all, honey, and that they are the queen bee. No, my friend, you are not. You are just the head volunteer that should be acting with grace and in thinking that you are inclusive of everybody, or at least your intention should be that you're inclusive of everybody. The next huge mistake, and this is an even bigger mistake than the one that I just talked about, but that is to do everything yourself. Again, you are not in charge of all the things. You are really supposed to be scoping out the plan and acting as an intermediary with the teacher to figure out what they want and translate their needs for support, donations, helpers, and translating that into making that happen. So to make this happen, you really need to be delegating to other people, giving opportunities for other people to be involved and participate. Otherwise, you are going to feel burned out, and other people, they're going to be resentful because they're going to think that you are the queen bee. So don't do that. The next mistake that some room parents unfortunately make is assuming that they know what the teacher wants. I don't know why anybody, or just making assumptions. Like, you have to talk with the teacher. Every teacher has different preferences as far as what they want to see for a class party, what foods are allowed, how many helpers can be in the room. Sometimes it surprised me because a teacher that I thought was pretty chill had very specific requirements and kind of rules about how she wanted to run her classroom. And that, of course, is her prerogative. It is your job as the head room parent to find those things out and not just to make assumptions. But you might be thinking, like, it's hard to ask questions about things that you don't know. So how do you ask all the right questions? Well, I actually have a solution for you, and that is the Room Parent Success Kit. You should totally check that out if you are a room parent, because it is designed to make your life so much incredibly easier, because it prevents having to recreate the wheel. This kit has, first of all, a manual for room parents that your PTO can use to get the most out of the room parent program in your school and to kind of turn it into a volunteer and leadership machine. And for room parents specifically, it has all the templates you're going to need to ask for donations from the parents, plan class parties, and create memorable experiences for your kids at school, in addition to working with the teacher. So it's going to have all the questions that you should ask the teacher before planning the party. It's going to have all the questions that you should ask of the teacher at the beginning of the year, before you even start planning class parties, so that you don't go into your meeting with the teacher with a complete plan of all the different activities and all the different snacks that you want to have and all the things that you've spent hours perfecting, looking on Pinterest for all of the cutest ideas. And then you come to find out that you can't do X, Y, or Z because the teacher has a preference about that. Save yourself the time and the trouble by meeting with them in advance. And if you need some help on guidance on like what you should be asking, how you should be approaching the room parent position, then definitely check out the Room Parent Success Kit. I have dropped a link to that bad boy in the description below. Very last mistake, and this is tied to number 1, kind of not being queen bee, or not thinking that you're in charge of all the things, is that I see some room parents playing favorites. Meaning they're not giving all class parents an opportunity to participate. They are continually going back to their friends or to the same people, asking for donations or asking them to come in for the class parties. I had this one teacher who only some teachers will let all the parents in, because who wants to miss class parties? That's when you get to play, especially like Halloween time, you get to play Make a Mummy, and parents get wrapped up in toilet paper and it's great fun and the kids giggle and think it's the most absurd thing ever and it's just delightful, right? Who wants to miss that? Nobody. But some teachers do not want to have a whole horde of parents in the classroom because they know it's difficult and too many cooks in the kitchen and whatnot. Especially if you have a teacher who has limits on how many in-classroom helpers there can be for parties, then you're going to want to give everybody an equal chance to participate. So if people are volunteering in person for the Halloween party, you're going to not go to them first for the winter party, or the Valentine's Day party, or the end of year party, like whatever parties you have, you're going to want to give everybody a chance so that you're going to say you have the chance to give something once and to come in and help one time throughout the year. Like set that expectation so that you are not making people feel like they're not included. Because I will tell you, I was really surprised by some parents who could not come in and volunteer, but they really felt like they were being robbed of a chance to participate when they couldn't send in a donation of even like the printed napkins, like fun Halloween napkins. Like they wanted to contribute. And so they would have been deeply hurt if they had not had that opportunity. And so I had heard from a parent who said, gosh, I can't make it in, but I would really love to give this. And this would make me feel really good if I could send in a treat or send in a prize or whatever. So make sure that you're giving everybody that chance, because when people feel included, they are going to be more likely to help out in the future. And that is what you want as a room parent. And that is certainly what you want as a PTO or PTA, is to have a growing legion of fans with who are at the ready, interested in helping to make all of your programs and events happen at the school. Want even more guidance on how to be a stronger leader so you can run a better PTO or PTA? All these resources and more are waiting for you at ptoanswers.com.